What if I told you there are SUVs out there quietly racking up 300,000 miles without ever needing a major repair and hardly anyone's talking about them? While the spotlight always shines on big-name brands and flashy redesigns, some of the most dependable workhorses are hiding in plain sight. These are the underrated legends of reliability, the SUVs that just refuse to die, even after decades on the road. Today, we're diving into the models that go the distance, not just in marketing brochures, but in real-world garages. SUVs that owners swear by, not just for their comfort or style, but for how ridiculously long they last, without draining your wallet at the mechanic. So if you're tired of planned obsolescence and want something that actually stands the test of time, stay tuned, you're about to meet some long-distance champions. The first SUV on our list is one most people wouldn't think twice about, and that's exactly why it's so impressive. The first-generation Ford Escape Hybrid, especially the models built between 2005 and 2007, is a quiet legend in the high-mileage world. At first glance, it just looks like a regular compact SUV from the early 2000s. But under the hood is a surprisingly bulletproof combination of a 2.3-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder engine and an electric motor that together deliver up to 36 miles per gallon in the city. That's not just good, that's outstanding for an SUV, even by today's standards. What really sets this one apart, though, is its real-world track record. Many of these were used in taxi fleets across New York and San Francisco, and some were documented pushing past 400 or even 500,000 miles still running the original hybrid components. This wasn't supposed to happen. Hybrids back then were still new technology, and plenty of skeptics doubted their long-term reliability. But the Escape Hybrid didn't just hold up, it proved nearly indestructible with routine maintenance. And here's the kicker, you can still find a decent example for under $15,000. Some well-kept units go for as little as $6 to $8 grand. They're not flashy. They don't have massive screens or panoramic roofs, but they do come with practical space, available all-wheel drive, and a track record of lasting longer than most people's attention spans. As one longtime owner wrote on a forum, "I bought it as a commuter and never expected to hit 300,000. But here I am, same battery, same engine, and it still runs like a champ." The next SUV proves that age doesn't matter when you've got the right DNA. Ready for it? The mid-2000s Toyota Highlander 5.6 is one of those mid-size SUVs that just refuses to die. Picture a 2005 to 2008 Highlander with the 3.3-liter or 3.5-liter V6, the kind you see parked in driveway after driveway, often hitting 300,000 miles and beyond, and still humming happily. Owners regularly pop up in forums and Facebook groups bragging about Highlanders with 305,000 miles that drive like they did when new. One even posted a clean title Highlander with over 400,000 miles for sale. What makes them so dependable? Toyota's engine and transmission combo from that era is famously robust. People buy them, run the basics, and only replace wear items. While some write-ups suggest you're getting into serious transmission zone after 300,000 miles, in practice, most owners report needing nothing more than fluids, brakes, tires, and routine scheduled maintenance. On the buying side, these Highlanders are shockingly affordable. CarGurus and Edmunds listings show 2005 models between $4,000 and $8,000, even with well over 150,000 miles. That gets you a third-row midsize SUV with solid towing, available AWD, and a cabin that still feels modern by early Whiten's standards. One owner put it simply, at 276,000 miles, it still drives like new. I pull a trailer from Tennessee to Minneapolis 4 to 5 times per year, and it has never once let me down. That's not a marketing lens. It's lived experience from someone who's banking on longevity every single day. The last SUV might have caught you off guard, but this next one is even more under the radar. Seriously, if you've never heard of it, you're not alone, and that's exactly what makes it such a hidden gem. But before we dive in, quick question. Which SUV has lasted you the longest? And where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments, we want to see how far the Auto Ally family stretches. Alright, let's get into it. Now let's talk about the Chevrolet TrailBlazer EXT, specifically the long wheelbase version built between 2004 and 2006. This thing is like that quiet uncle who never says much but shows up to every family gathering and somehow always gets the job done. It came with a burly 4.2-liter inline-six engine that, while not flashy, is known to cross 300,000 miles with regular maintenance. What really sets the EXT apart is space. It had 3 rows, rear-wheel drive or optional 4-wheel drive, and a frame tough enough to tow a camper or haul a full family road trip with zero drama. Now, sure, early 2000s GM interiors weren't exactly luxurious. We're talking lots of gray, plastic, and buttons that might feel a little clicky today. But underneath that basic cabin is a powertrain that just keeps going. The 4L60E transmission has a mixed reputation, but when serviced regularly, and we're talking fluid changes, not rebuilds, it tends to hold up shockingly well. There are countless TrailBlazer owners who've racked up 300,000 miles or more without touching the drivetrain. One post even mentioned someone who used it as a construction vehicle and said, "It's been beat, loaded, overheated, and abused, still starts like clockwork every morning." And the price? You can find TrailBlazer EXTs for under $10,000. Sometimes even half that if you don't mind a little cosmetic wear. For what you get, a true body-on-frame SUV with towing capability, legit room for 7, and a track record of crossing the high-mileage finish line, it's a steal. And guess what? The next one is even more obscure. You ready? The Isuzu Rodeo, especially the late 90s models up to around 2003. These trucks-turned-SUVs came with either a rugged inline-4 or a torquey 3.2-liter 5.6, and while they never stole showroom headlines, they've quietly built a reputation for longevity. One owner shared that his 40,000-mile Rodeo turned into a 3-1-jawed 21,000-mile Chariot, surviving oil change intervals and alternator swaps with no major engine dramas. Here's what makes the Rodeo a stealth mileage monster. It's built on a traditional body-one-of-chrome chassis, so major rust issues only pop up in extreme climates. Under the hood, that Isuzu V engine is aluminum light, but beefy with proper upkeep, it runs for hundreds of thousands of miles. Consumer reviews repeatedly describe them as solid, reliable movers. My 1999 Rodeo, clean title, 340,000 miles, no major problems, and bought it new. 225,000 miles later, still running strong. Even Reddit users confirm they're no mystery. Mine had almost 300,000 miles when I finally got rid of it. I love that thing, with comments noting that the manual shift versions in particular seem bulletproof. On price, you can still pick up a mid to late 90s Rodeo for well under $15,000, often in the $3,000 to $5,000 range, even with moderate mileage. They don't win style awards, and interiors are basic compared to newer SUVs. But you're getting a sturdy frame, classic V6 grunt, and a proven drivetrain that's been tested far beyond 300,000 miles in real-world hands. Stick with owner-level maintenance. Think regular oil, brake, coolant, and tranny fluid change-ins, and you're looking at a vehicle that quietly defies the odds. The next pick? It's even more surprising. You ready? Meet the Subaru Forester, a compact crossover that flies way under the hype radar but quietly crushes the mileage game. What makes it a dark horse hero in the high-mileage world? Start with the legendary Boxer engine layout and standard AWD that Subaru is known for. They may not hit 300,000 miles every day, but owners consistently report that with basic upkeep, their Foresters push right past that mark without drama. In one subreddit thread, a Forester owner said, "With good maintenance, they will last just like a Toyota or Honda." And it was a common issue on old EJ motors. The newer models have better gaskets. Haven't had an oil leak yet since then. Price-wise, you can find solid Foresters built in the late 2000s and early 2010s, think 2010 to 2014 model Sol, for well under $15,000. Listings nationwide show 2014 Foresters starting around $7,000 to $8,000, even with over 150,000 miles. They don't come with flashy panels or massive infotainment systems, but they do deliver a roomy interior, standard 4-season capability, and the kind of longevity most SUVs only dream about. One big caveat: the older EJ series engines, pre-2011 or so, are known for head gasket wear, but that's fixable, and if taken care of, it opens the door to a dependable vehicle running well past 300,000 miles. Maintain it with regular oil and coolant changes, and this crossover becomes a longevity beast. So there you have it, the Subaru Forester. Not flashy, but built for endurance. Alright, here's the next sleeper SUV that quietly crosses the 300,000 mile mark, while flying completely under the radar. Forget flashy badges, meet the Mazda Tribute V8, a surprisingly robust compact SUV that rarely gets the mileage credit it deserves. Produced in the mid-2000s, the Tribute offered an optional 3-liter V6, not a V8, my mistake. But what really deserves attention is the model's longevity. Built on the same platform as the Ford Escape, the The V6 engine and drivetrain prove to be exceptionally durable. Owners regularly report these hitting 300,000 miles or more with nothing but scheduled maintenance. One owner recalled driving their Tribute well past 350,000 miles, saying it never once left me stranded, just tires, brakes, and oil changes. The engine is smooth, the transmission solid if fluids are kept fresh, and the AWD versions keep traction year-round. Despite this, Mazda's traded under the hood of Tributes often overlooked compared to their Ford cousin. Even better, you can find a well-maintained Tribute for under $15,000, typically in the 5 to 0 range. Sure, the cabin might show its age, and those sporty suspension tweaks from Mazda can feel dated, but what you're getting is a compact SUV with the heart of a long hauler. It tows better than a Forester, handles tighter than a TrailBlazer EXT, and won't cost a fortune to maintain. If you want underrated endurance in a compact package, the Tribute 5.6 is proof that sometimes the quietest rides are the ones that last the longest. Not every SUV needs a cult following or a luxury badge to prove its worth. The models we've looked at today might not make headlines, but they quietly rack up miles like legends, and that's exactly why they're worth talking about. They don't just get you from point A to B. They keep doing it for decades, often with nothing more than basic upkeep and a little mechanical respect. If you're the kind of driver who values long-term reliability over short-term flash, these are the machines you want in your garage. Want more hidden gems and brutally honest car pics? Tap into the videos showing on your screen. We've got plenty more coming your way.